Welcome to Getting Started. Several things must be accomplished before you can begin authoring your teaching files. You must have a computer capable of running the required software, login credentials, and materials with which to construct a case. The goals of this tutorial are to install the required software, obtain the credentials required for access, and know the materials needed to construct a case. The first topic is software. This one's pretty easy. MIRC can be accessed by any hospital computer that has access to hospital resources. It's also possible to access it remotely from outside the hospital, but we'll talk about that later. All the software needed should have already been installed by radiology IT personnel, so consult them if you have a problem. The only exception to this is if you want to annotate your images, there's an extra piece of software that's needed. But we'll cover that in the annotation tutorial later, because it's not required now. The second topic is credentials. There are two ways to access MIRC. The first way is from the hospital network. That's inside the hospital on a hospital computer that you're logged into. Simply open a web browser like the one that we have open right now. Type in the address bar ukh-rsna-srv. Alternatively, you can type in 10.200.40.41. Both send you to the same place. This is going to open MIRC in your browser. So you can see here we have a bunch of cases. In the top right, we have the login. So these cases here are public cases, but we want to be able to author files and have access to other tools, so let's go ahead and log in. If you don't have MIRC credentials yet, contact your radiology IT personnel and they will get you some. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my credentials here, and then click OK. And now that we're logged in, you can see this is our home screen, and we have an expanded toolkit right here. You're now ready to interact with the system, and you can skip to the next part of the video about materials. If you want to know how to access MIRC remotely, then continue on to the next part here without skipping. The second way to get access to MIRC is to connect remotely using the Citrix Gateway. If you're not on the hospital and can't get access using the first method, open a web browser on your personal computer and type access.kumed.com into the address bar. This will open the Citrix Gateway, a portal to KUMC's hospital network. In the www site drop-down menu, select KUMC if you have university credentials, and KUHA if you have hospital credentials. I've got university credentials. Then type your username and password, and click Log On. A dialog box will open requiring you to install the client software. Click the checkbox and then the download button. You must open and run the installer zynappweb.msi, which will be located wherever your browser downloads are stored. This step may differ depending on which browser you're using. Just be sure that you complete the installation of this component. Once you're sure the software has been installed, click Continue or Already Installed to move on. Already Installed would be over here, and sometimes there's a bug where you have to click that every time. But we're going to click Continue now. You should now be logged into Citrix and have access to KUMC's hospital network. Click the Internet icon. A file called launch.ica is going to be downloaded to your browser's download directory. Opening and running this file will pop up a hospital intranet browser. Citrix is connecting. And there's the browser. All the steps up to this point were required to grant you access to this window. This is the same browser window you would see if you were inside the hospital. Now you can type ukh-rsna-srv to get access to MIRC. This is the same steps as outlined before if you were in the hospital. Now we can just go ahead and click Login, put in your credentials. And now we're into MIRC. The third topic is materials. The most basic teaching files require only an image and a medical professional knowledgeable enough to interpret it properly. Images can come from PACS, a film digitizing machine, or even a personal camera. See the tutorial on getting images into MIRC for more on images. Robust teaching files should make use of case information, including, but not limited to, a history, findings, and a diagnosis. It's up to the author to obtain this information from old medical records or from fresh hospital cases. See the tutorials Your First Teaching File or Making Better Teaching Files for more on using these materials successfully. And so what's next? The next step is the tutorial on getting images into MIRC. However, if you can't wait to jump into case authoring, you can go on ahead to Your First Teaching File.